Hello, this is Jeremy Zare with SpraySync, and today we're going to show how we interface and track from a Norstar RS6000 roadside sprayer unit. So on the left here, we've got the Norstar RS6000. If you're not familiar with it, it has 9 different boom sections. That's those switches on the top. There's a master switch off to the left of that, and a main power in the middle. Here we have our SpraySync 9 input box to take all of those 9 spray sections, and we only have 2 outputs on our box to keep this simple. So we have one that's the USB that goes to the tablet, and we have one wire that goes to the back of the RS6000 unit. Let's take a peek at that. Here we have the back of the RS6000 unit. So we have our cable coming out and directly going in to the back of the unit with all the spray sections there. We use the same exact colors that you'll find in the RS6000 manual for the 9 different spray sections that there are, boom sections. And then we've got one extra wire that's going to ground, so that's really all we're bringing into the SpraySync box. Don't mind the red and the black wires there. That's really just powering it up for the purpose of this demonstration. Now let's take a peek at what things look like within the SpraySync app when we start spraying. Within the SpraySync app, we have the opportunity to save a configuration of a vehicle and its switches. So I have a Norstar RS6000 already set up here for me. And I can view over on the left the vehicle switch config. And so what I have is the different sections, all mapped out, switches 1 through 9. And the reference point, why these say spraying 4 to 6 feet, that means spraying 4 feet off to the right to 6 feet off to the right. So that's a 2-foot section. One of the reasons why it might be 4 feet is that all of these positions are relative to where the tablet is in the vehicle. So if the tablet is in the middle of the vehicle, that's where the GPS is. So these positions are all GPS positions relative to that center of the vehicle. So we go through and we have the Norstar. The first few units, or first boom sections are 2 feet wide, and then a few sections that are 4 feet, and then the last couple are 6 feet wide, and then sections 8 and 9 are the sections behind the truck. So the 8 is directly behind, which is, we say, when we say negative 4 feet, we kind of mean off to the left 4 feet, and 4.5 feet to the right is positive. So that's just one that's behind the vehicle, and then the section 9 that we have. So what I'll go ahead and do here is I'm going to start spraying. I'm going to turn the master on, but I don't have any switches on yet. So I'm going to turn switch 1. See, it's very narrow. Switch 2, 3, 4, 5. And then at any time, if I want to turn the master off, I turn the master off and they all go off. So now I'll turn the master on, but all 5 switches are still, all boom switches are still on, so they'll all come right back on. I can go out to 6 and 7. I'll turn everything off, and then let me show the last 2 sections, 8 and 9. We'll do 8. And we can turn 8 off, we can turn 9 on. So we can basically do any combination of these switches, whatever you happen to be spraying out there. Turn the master off. So at this point, that's what the data looks like, and you can track it. You can see exactly what you spray. You have that live feedback while you're going. And it's a pretty simple setup, just the same colored wires that you put in on the back. They'll match the colors that are already in on your system if you have it already. Now let's take a look at some of the reporting that this generated. Here I've got the SpraySync web application up. This is your main reporting page. That's when you log in, this is the page you get. While we were on the tablet, I had the private job that I was spraying in, and so I can hit filter, and it'll show me a summary of what just happened. So we didn't spray very much, just while we were doing the demonstration, but it will track the weed scene. Those were the buttons that were on the left. And it will track, I had set up previously the chemicals that I was spraying, so it will, track the acres applied with the flow rate to know how many ounces were applied. So I'll go ahead and download a map here. We can download either a KML or a shapefile. So let me download a KML. It's a little more convenient to view on a laptop here quickly. And so normally when we do a KML file, it will pop up in Google Earth. So I'll go ahead and download that, and I'll just let it open up in Google Earth. So what we'll see here is all of our spray sections that we did. I'll zoom in a little bit more. You can click on any one of them. You can kind of see what we did, right? You remember when we started out, we started with one switch on, then another one, then another one. And it'll show every section that's on, and as we sprayed, and we can click on it any time, and it will tell us who sprayed, the group that you were with, which is just your organization, and start and end date, the weeds that were controlled that you had the buttons pressed, acres applied for just that little section, and then exactly the chemical that you were spraying and the ounces applied, and what job it was. So when you go and you do your reporting at the end of the day, this stuff is all saved in there for you. So you can go to any one of these and you'll be able to click on it and see exactly the same information. So and shapefile, if you get a shapefile download, you'll get all the same stuff there, just in the shapefile format, so you can bring it up in ArcGIS or whatever your preferred method of viewing your GIS data is. Well, anyways, thanks for this listening to this run through of the RS6000 and how we track it with SpraySync. I'll talk to you soon.